Pickens, though. Glowing reports about him coming out of Cowboys minicamp. Apparently, he's unguardable. This is a takeaway from one of the Cowboys reporters. Nobody could guard George Pickens today. Beat Israel Mukawamu. Botched that name. Apologize. On a nasty comeback route and had a couple more catches on the day, too. You could tell he and Dak Prescott are starting to get comfortable with one another. Okay, cool. Like, I don't think me or any other Steeler fan is surprised at the headline or surprised at someone describing George Pickens as unguardable. One, with him being on the Cowboys now and going up against the Cowboys defense in these practices, that's not hard to do against the Cowboys secondary. Let's be real about that. But yeah, we've seen Pickens be unguardable countless times in his first 3 years in the league as a Steeler. Countless times. We've got to see him at training camp going up against JPJ. Perfect coverage from JPJ. Pickens lays out horizontally, basically mosses him, grabs it with like one hand and comes down with it. We've seen that. We've seen it in games. The Cleveland catch in Pickens' rookie year. Like, yeah, Pickens, even if he is guarded in a way, you could throw it up to him. He's going to come down with it. The only person that's holding Pickens back is Pickens because he is kind of unguardable when he wants to be. Truly. But where have we said that before in reference to super talented Steelers receivers? Like, the only thing holding them back is them. Martavis Bryant, Chase Claypool. And now we're saying the same stuff about George Pickens because Martavis Bryant, holy hell, man. Like, if he was just able to stay off the weed, he could have been an all-time Steelers receiver. Seriously. He was on that type of trajectory. He just couldn't stay on the field. Chase Claypool, we see the talent was there with him. Like, got off to a crazy hot start in his rookie year. Crazy hot start. Was killing it with the touchdowns. I mean, double-digit touchdowns rookie year. He had 4 touchdowns in that Eagles game. It was like his second or third game in the league. And then it was just like, bro, what happened? Like, you didn't get the details together. You weren't fully a professional. And he went on the Pivot podcast. Remember the quote where he said, yeah, I know I'm a top 3 receiver, can be a top 3 receiver in this league. I got that type of talent and everything. And I agreed with him. It's like, bro, you're only scratching the surface your first couple years in the league. The talent is crazy, but you got to get everything else right. You got to get the route running right. You got to get the details right. You got to get being a professional down. And Claypool was never really able to do that. Martavis was never really able to do that. And Pickens, his first 3 years in the league thus far, hasn't been able to fully do that. Because with George Pickens, is there any doubt in any of our minds that with his talent and what we've seen from him, like just strictly on the field, that he can't be a top 5 receiver in this league? I mean, dude, as soon as we drafted him, we're like, man, this could be one of those guys, man. The only reason he didn't go in the first round, the only reason he wasn't selected with that top tier receivers in that draft class was because he got hurt at Georgia. But like, man, the dude was, a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, one of those top elite receivers. And if he wasn't getting banged up in college, like I don't think there's any doubt he would have been a first round pick. But that's enabled him to slip to the second round. We felt like we got a steal by taking him there. The Pickens connection, man, like Pickett ain't here anymore, and Pickens ain't here anymore either. But yeah, Pickens, he can be an elite receiver in this league. He could be a top 10, a top 5 receiver in this league when he wants to be. But that's been the inconsistent thing of, when he wants to be. Because there's passes that have been tossed to Pickens, and he's been wide open. We were talking about unguardable, and like even when there's good coverage on Pickens, you could throw it up to him. Like there's a 70, 80%, 90% chance Pickens could come down with it. What about the easy ones? Like we got to see Pickens last year drop a ton of easy ones in big moments on third downs. There was one pass I remember on Thursday Night Football. Pickett to Pickens, back corner of the end zone. Pickens had about 3 or 4 yards to just get 2 feet down. Easy catch, pitch and catch. Like you're tossing a baseball. And he gets 1 foot down. It's like, bro, what? Like it's just inexplicable that you don't come down with that catch. You get both feet down. You make the hard ones look easy, but then the easy ones look hard. Like it doesn't make sense. It hadn't made sense sometimes with Pickens being here. And then you got the lazy route running. Like he hasn't really got that part of his arsenal buttoned up either, the route running. And then sometimes is he going to block for his teammates? So like that's what we've gotten with Pickens thus far in this league. But we've seen these headlines before. I think that's where I'm getting at with this is we've seen these headlines before with Pickens, but also other super talented receivers here in Pittsburgh, like a Martavis and Claypool. So it's like, cool. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's the honeymoon stage for Pickens and the Cowboys. Like we'll see what happens. And I don't think there's really any in between of how we're going to view this trade after the fact either. It's either Pickens is going to make us look like idiots and we're going to see more and more of these headlines and he's going to be off to the races with the Cowboys and it's just going to be a whole fresh start for him and he's going to be the utmost professional. He's going to be buying into the Cowboys culture and he's, getting 12, 13, 1,400 yards year in and year out. It's either going to be that or he's going to make us look like geniuses. And it's going to be basically yet another receiver that the Steelers move off of at the right time. My bet is on history happening, though. My bet is on history. Track record. Steelers traditionally move off of receivers, disgruntled receivers, at the right time. And then you also look at Pickens' 3-year sample size in the league up to this point of being a malcontent, of having some of the antics, the drama, being a little bit more me first as opposed to being focused on the team. We got 3 years of that. We kept waiting and waiting and waiting for him to turn the page and get things right, and it just never happened. And the fact, too, you have Mike Tomlin, who was Pickens' biggest defender. He said enough was enough. And at a point, too, where we didn't need to trade Pickens. He's got one more year under contract. There was, no big need to trade him. We weren't hurting for cap space. We just traded for DK Metcalf. You had that nice 1-2 tandem there. You brought Rodgers in on a cheap contract. We could have afforded to keep Pickens. But Tomlin even said enough was enough. So that's where my bet is. That was my early takes. Or one of my early takes on this Pickens trade. It's like, this sucks. I'm not even going to front. On the field, this sucks. I want Pickens and Metcalf at least 1 year of that to see what those two could do on the outside. Could be dangerous. But ultimately, I do think this trade is going to work out in the Steelers' favor. It's going to age well as time goes on.